It went everywhere. Oh no. Hi you guys! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. This video this week is going to be a roommate horror story time. My face looks crazy right now because last week's video that you guys watched, the advent calendar, and this week's video were filmed in the same day because I wanted to do my makeup while I did this beautiful roommate horror story. Before I start my story, I want to make sure that I give you guys a couple of disclaimers about this. This story is not about shaming anyone or demonizing anyone. It's just my story. It's just one side of this story, which is my side of it. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just telling you my experience. If you have any sensibility or awkwardness or you feel uncomfortable on the subject of eating disorders, do not watch this video. Get away while you can, because this will be about eating disorders. I will post on the description box hotlines and places to get help for eating disorders, but I'll mention that later. I will say things that you might get upset with me, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know if there's anything to be taken away from this story. I hope there is. I don't script my videos, so I'm just gonna talk and we'll see where it goes. It went everywhere. Oh no. I got my first apartment in 2006 in Queens with a friend. It was him and I. We lived together for about a year. When he moved out, I had a second roommate after that. Was another friend, and he was pretty great, but he couldn't afford. After a couple of months, he was just like, I can't afford this. I'm so sorry. I gotta go. And then out of my desperation, I didn't know anybody who could afford the apartment. I posted on Craigslist. Yes, I did. I posted over there what I was looking for. So this girl comes in to see the apartment, and she loves the apartment. She's super cute. She's super nice. She's super bubbly. Let me call her Jackie. So Jackie comes in. She looks at the room. It was a railroad apartment. If you are not very familiarized with what a railroad apartment is, the biggest characteristic of a railroad apartment is that your bedrooms are one inside the other. You need to go through one bedroom to get into the next bedroom. Not all apartments that are railroad will have a additional exit for the bedroom. So sometimes you're just gonna have people walking in your bedroom to get to theirs. My railroad apartment had a bedroom inside a bedroom or a bedroom before a bedroom. You get the picture. Jackie liked the room. Jackie was okay with the room. Jackie said, hey, I want it. And I was like, great, I will have money to pay my rent this month. Wonderful. And Jackie moved in. Jackie was a slender girl. She was super well spoken. She was very artistic. We would sit in the living room or in the kitchen and hang out for hours. We went out together a lot. We would go like to dinner. Like, we became very good friends. After living with a couple of boys, I was so happy to have like a friend that I could, you know, hang out with, a girl that I could talk to. Awesome. Jackie was about 23, 24 years old, and she was about 89 pounds. I didn't think anything about it because, you know, some people are skinny naturally. She came from Florida. She didn't quite need to work. She had a very hefty monetary help from her parents. Eventually, she told me she had bulimia. Over time, I started paying more attention. I couldn't avoid but notice things that she was doing that showed very clearly that she had that condition. She would literally eat a lot. She would seriously drink a gallon of milk a day, sit down and eat a whole cake, like an 8-inch cake, in one sitting. She would immediately, right after eating or drinking that milk, stand up and go to the bathroom and come back out. Jackie had been gone to, you know, rehab centers in the past. I felt sympathetic to her. I did want to help her out. I felt like you are struggling. And she would tell me that, you know, she would go to rehab, feel better, do everything great, and she worked so hard. But I kept seeing her eating a whole lot and just going to the bathroom right after. I can only do so much. Obviously, I don't want this girl to have further injury to herself, but who am I really? I'm nobody. I can't be telling her what to do. I can't be telling her like, hey, don't do this, right? So I tried to be the best friend that I could. She brought her boyfriend to the house. He was really nice. Let me call him Kelso. He knew that Jackie had that problem, as there was no secrets to anybody. She would talk about it openly. She would tell literally anybody and everybody about her condition, which, you know what, sometimes for some people, that's a very healing thing. New people, old friends, everyone knew it. And everybody always try to take care of Jackie. We felt like we were making a difference in somebody's life. I would tell her, hey, why don't you just wait a couple of hours before going to the bathroom after eating? She'll be like, yeah, oh my God, you're so right. I should definitely do that. And that's not what used to happen. I had a best friend, and eventually my best friend started hanging out with Jackie as well, to the point that they were hanging out without me. Let's call her Donna. So Jackie and Donna used to hang out together while I was at work. Kelso used to hang out with them. They became very close friends, and I was glad. I was like, you know what? Let's be a big happy family. It's better for me because now all my friends are friends, so I don't have to worry about everybody just like getting along. It was great. So Jackie had financial help from her parents, as I said in the beginning. So she used to only get a certain amount of money per month. The way that she ate and the rate that she ate, she would run out of money really quickly. She never defaulted on rent. She was a very good rent payer. She ate out almost every day. She ate food for 4 or 5 people in one sitting. She had dental work done because, it damages your teeth, it damages your esophagus. So at a certain point, she told me that she didn't have a gag reflex anymore. It was just natural. She would eat so much, so quickly, that it would just come right back. Jack and Kelso had a weird little relationship thing. I don't even know what to call that. Every 6 weeks or so, I don't know, something like that, they would take a break. And their break would last about 2 weeks. And during those breaks of 2 weeks, Kelso would not show up. Kelso would not call Jackie or get in touch with any of us. Jackie would have another man in the house. I'm not judging her. Trust me, I am the last one to judge anybody's life choices and relationship choices, and
you do you, boo-boo.
However, it kind of started affecting me eventually, and I'm gonna get to that. So the very first time Kelso and Jackie took a break, she went to the supermarket. From the supermarket that was like by the corner of the building or whatever, she comes back with a dude that works at the supermarket. He brought her groceries and he hung out with her, and she ate the groceries. She went to the bathroom, just kind of like always she does. They hung out and she told him her story. Then her break from Kelso would be over and she would go back to her relationship with Kelso, and yay, 6 more weeks of Kelso. And then the second time that she had a break with Kelso, she started talking to the kid from the deli in the corner. So the kid from the deli in the corner would bring her food and cigarettes, and he would hang out with her. 2 weeks of that, and after that she would go back with Kelso. So Jackie and Kelso would take those breaks, and between those breaks she would bring friends with groceries for her. In one of the breaks, she brought a gentleman from Florida. In another occasion, a gentleman from Texas. The real tone here was every time she took a break, Jackie and Kelso would take a break, groceries will come from random places. At this point, I was just watching. I was just like, wow, this is very different.
You do you, boo-boo.
Eventually, though, some of them would actually like literally send her groceries from wherever they were through the internet. They're just like deliver. They will call a supermarket. They will call like a deli in the corner of the house, give their credit card to them, and then stuff would show up in the house. To some of these gentlemen, just the 2 weeks that she had with them was not enough. I don't know what she would tell them. I know what she would tell Kelso. She has this mental illness. She can be under stress. She sometimes gets overwhelmed, and so she needs a little bit of a sabbatical for herself. He was more than happy to give it to her, to make sure that she was okay, to make sure that she would heal. I knew that was not the case. It was not for healing. It was literally for groceries, I think. I'm not sure. And that's when I started getting a little bit uncomfortable about it, because I was sitting there living with this person that had a very bad mental illness, a very bad eating disorder, where I couldn't really help her because she didn't want to be helped. But she got an army of people who were trying to help her. They were enabling her. They were actually enabling this person, but they didn't even know that. Over time, I started seeing through it because I was there 24 hours a day. I was watching everything happening. I was watching Kelso being shunned every 6 weeks. I was watching different random persons coming in and out of my house for 2 weeks, every 6 weeks. Eventually, things started getting very weird. All of these individuals knew where she lived. A gentleman from Florida came to see her and spent a week with her. And then the gentleman from the corner deli showed up However, she was lucky because the gentleman from Florida had just left to do something and he was not there. When the gentleman from the corner deli came, she let him in. He hung out with us. She was like juggling these two people. And then all of a sudden she goes like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you take the kid from the deli up to the roof? Because the dude from Florida is coming. I'm like, okay. I go with this kid upstairs to the roof, like, oh yeah, let's go upstairs. I want to smoke a cigarette. The other gentleman arrives and she stayed with him for a good long time. Oh my God. I don't even want to think about what they did while I was sitting in the roof of the building with the corner deli kid that was there because he wanted to see her. So that was one event that she cut really, really close. Then there was the kid from the supermarket, the very first one. Every now and then he would see me in the supermarket. He would ask me about Jackie. He would go through our street to go to work and to go home after work because he probably wanted to, like, cross paths with Jackie. Thank God he never did. Do I look good? No, it's looking terrible. So now Jackie has two people who live or work within seconds of the house. She has those out-of-state friends who also know where she lives. Let's name this gentleman from Florida Hyde. Jackie's in a break with Kelso again, and then all of a sudden, I am sitting in the living room watching TV with Jackie. Bell rings. Every time the bell rang, Jackie would just look at me like, are you waiting for somebody? So I became her butler. I started having to answer the door for her because she couldn't answer the door because it could be one of these people that she's been hanging out with. So I go and I answer the door and it's Hyde. And then Hyde is like, oh, it's Jackie here. And I go like, no, she's not, because she asked me to say that. He's like, okay, what time she comes back? And now I'm a secretary, right? I have to stand there on my day off having to do secretarial work to this individual because of her poor life choices. So Hyde finally leaves. I asked her, what's going on? Why is Hyde like here? Like, doesn't he live in Florida? And she goes like, oh, yeah, he quit his job. He gave his apartment back. He decided to move here with me. And I'm like, what? She's like, no, I broke up with him. Like, I don't want to be with him. This stuff kept happening almost every day. She was already cutting so close with all of these individuals. She needed to do something. I was like, you're in a bunch of trouble, but come on, it's not my problem. It's your problem, She started getting a little more distant with me. So she just changed her demeanor towards me from night to day. And then a couple of days later, she just texted me saying that she was moving out the next day. And then I was like, dude, you gotta give me 30-day notice. Started fighting with me, like giving me those text messages that were a little rude to make an excuse for her to just leave. I really thought she was my friend. I really thought we had a good relationship. Clearly, she was using me. It's sad to say that. When she moved out, my best friend took her side on this. What? I do not know what she told Donna, and Donna helped her move out. Donna took her side completely, and Donna never spoke to me again, and I have no idea what happened. Eating disorders are a horrible, horrible thing. I very briefly had an eating disorder and I got over it, but not everybody does. In this story that I told you guys, I think she was doing all of this crazy stuff with these people, and then she saw that she was stuck now because she couldn't walk on the street anymore because she did this guy over here, she did this guy over there. So she couldn't go to either corner of the building without being recognized by somebody that she hang out with. And if she left in good terms with me, eventually those people that were looking for her were gonna ask me where she was, and I could possibly tell them. And that was the easiest way for Kelso not to find out what she was doing, because I was the only person that was watching all of this. I don't think Kelso ever knew that she was doing that. It really affected me because I had to get out of my way of like going to work and having my rest days to accommodate to a person, answering doors and answering phones and taking people to rooftops so this person wouldn't get caught on their own behavior. Nowadays, I see why. Because when she met the people, including me and all of those people that she ran away from, she made sure to tell everybody her sad story. She made sure to tell everyone how she needed to be helped. All of us felt like we had a purpose in her life. We needed to help this girl get better. She didn't want to be helped. She was in a situation where she could use that, and she was manipulating people. I feel bad for her. I don't wish her any bad stuff in her life. I wish her well, and I wish one day she gets better. But when she was living with me, I am 100% sure she just used her condition to get benefits, to gain from people, to get food, favors, friends. She manipulated all of the people involved. And in the end of the day, I was just used. I learned to differentiate. If I can help somebody who wants to be helped, I will. If you don't want to be helped, I will not go down the rabbit hole with you. As sad as it is that she has a condition, she knew how to use it. Well, that's it for my story, you guys. I am so sad I had to paint this person in such a horrible, horrible light. I don't think she does this with a consciousness. Tell me, what do you think? Tell me if you had a friend or a person that you know that has an eating disorder and if they behave the same way. Some of the signs that I noticed with the bulimia: eating a whole lot, being always hungry, never gaining weight, and going to the bathroom like instantly after eating like a truck. I will post down in the description below some outlets for help. If you have the disease or that mental illness that you want to get help for, don't hesitate to look for help. Leave it in the comments. What do you guys thought about the story? Let me know if you guys want me to post another story time, another roommate horror story time. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Ring that bell to get notified every time I post. I post every Sunday or Monday, depending on my editing needs. I will see you guys next week.